back down. This is what we're made of. Standing our ground, here it goes down. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Oh, wait and see, we're gonna be legendary. Ain't no time like the here and now. Yeah, we showed up, now we're showing up. Oh, you and me, we're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary. Legendary. We're gonna be legendary.
It's explosive. I got metal running through my bones, a resurrection like a ghost. Hurricane, go ahead and blow. Where you could keep your white flag, I'll never fold. A shadow on the battlefield, a survivor never yield. A thunder, go ahead and shake. Don't run from the storm when I feel the rain. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. I got a fever in my blood, a falling embers from above. I feel the heat when the pressure blows, a wildfire that you can't control. There's no rest for the wicked, no victory for the weak. And when the weeds getting thicker, you'll never see me on my knees. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. You can't control this, it's explosive. With every beat on my heart, I'll be the light in the dark. You can't control this, I'm explosive. You can't control this, it's 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 explosive.
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection. If we fix your foundation and you mention Race On Texas, you will get a 1-year free subscription to the All Access Pass.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing.
Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new Click It RV in Milton Freewater.
People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience.
So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at Click It RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening and welcome to the virtual Munster Mile, round 4, Stars and Stripes Race to the League. And tonight, the Munster Mile 200 on the concrete jungle that is the Dover Motor Speedway. Miles the Munster, who is your innocent bystander going to be tonight? Welcome to our coverage along the way of iRacing on LSRTV. As always, I'm Wesley Outlet. Jason Rockefeller alongside for the ride is our color analyst, and Charles Wooten on production. He might chime in and give some dialogue a time or two as well. We welcome you to the Stars and Stripes Racing League. And Jason, I think this is going to be a good one tonight, man. You got a double century grind around Dover. This race could be a track where the drivers can literally fight themselves just trying to figure this racetrack out amongst the competition that they have surrounding them. Good evening, buddy.
Yeah, good evening, man. I'm really excited for this track. And, you know, if you've been on LSRTV long enough here over these past year and a half, 2 years that I've been a part of this coverage here, you know that the Monster Mile is my home track. I absolutely love this place. I've been coming here since I was 7 years old, know this track, the area like the back of my hand. And boy, man, this track is so treacherous. Miles, he will grab out, he will grab your car, pull you towards that outside wall, off turn number 2, off turn number 4. He will take a bite of you, and he will spit you right back out into that track in front of the entire field. This is going to be a good one tonight. This is definitely a driver's track, and you obviously have to drive your race car as the track adapts to the environment. It's going to be a good one tonight for sure.
Let's take a look at the Hunt the Front TV race information for tonight. No fast repair given for the drivers in the series. 100% fuel capacity. And then they got to have 4 tires on the sets, 4 sets of tires. And there will be only 1 attempt at overtime, if need be. 200 miles, 200 laps, as this track is 1 mile in length. And it is a concrete jungle, as we mentioned, concrete. How different is that, Jason, than on pavement?
Yeah, it's definitely really different, obviously. You know, this track really grips up a lot faster, I'd say, probably than asphalt. You can obviously see the rubber being laid down way more than you could at a track like we were last week at Michigan. Remember, that track really wide. This track is kind of a little bit more narrow. It's got those wide corners kind of, but when you get down these straightaways, it kind of narrows up a little bit. You can just see the rubber right here. You look going down into turns 1 and 2. Look at that rubber being laid down over from practice. That number 3 machine of Christian Lawson off turn number 2. You could just see all the tire marks and all the rubber being laid down through 1 and 2 all the way to 3 and 4. So you definitely see it a lot more, and there's a little bit more grip, but it also slips and slides a lot more off these corners for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 1.609 kilometer concrete oval here at Dover Motor Speedway. Kaufman creative weather conditions as qualifying is on track now. 78 degrees ambient air temp on the sim. Speed, wind speed at 2 miles per hour. Partly cloudy, but the sun's out now. As you saw the back end of the number 3 about get fishtailed of Christian Lashen. Oh, and by the way, we're at almost 110 degrees on your track tip there. What is that going to be like, Jason?
Oh, trust me, I've been here during the middle of May when it has been super duper hot, and in fact, the last couple of years, it has been hot. I remember probably the hottest one I was at. I remember back in 2021, after they allowed fans back at the racetrack, that race was super hot in the grandstands towards the end of it. The track temperature was definitely up there, and with the track temperature being over 100 degrees today, you're going to see these guys slipping and sliding a lot coming off turn number 2 and off turn number 4, and you see a lot of carnage coming off turn number 2. You think back to 2007, 2008 when those monster wrecks happened in both the 2007 Chase for the Nextel Cup race and then in 2008 the spring race, Elliott Sadler, Tony Stewart getting together. That's going to be a big troublesome spot because, Wesley, unlike most tracks, we always talk about how that wall jumps out at you going into the corners like Homestead or coming off the corners like some other places, but no tracks can relate to Dover Motor Speedway when coming off turns 2 and off turns 4 because that safer barrier, that concrete wall jumps at you in a hurry.
Trey Jackson, nationwide number 5 driver out of Florida, on the racetrack right now with that Chevrolet. Time to beat Dylan Hoffman, 23.342 seconds qualifying, down to about a buck and 30 seconds left, 90 seconds on the clock. Ryan Lynch, the USAA Cookout, number 31. We'll see what he can do as the dogs are out. Ryan Lynch of that Cookout Toyota USAA machine from North Carolina. Mid-pack, Jason, got to pick it up, man.
Yeah, you definitely got to pick it up here. And I tell you what, Wesley, it is super hard to pass here. I mean, we talked about how Michigan was going to be hard to pass last week, man. This is a whole different breed. This is almost similar to like a Bristol Motor Speedway with how tough it is to pass. There's the number 13 machine coming off pit road. That's Mark Fish. He hasn't been able to set a lap yet. And that Anthony Alfredo-inspired Dude Wipes machine off turn number 2. It's going to be really tough to pass here. So if you want to make sure you have a good run tonight at Dover, I'd expect you have to qualify in the top 10. And one driver I really want to look at tonight would be the 7 of Kyle McCoy. He sits 7th on the leaderboard in that 7 Chevy Camaro right now here in qualifying with just 15 seconds left. Looks like he's going to finish there. Remember last week, running up at the front of the field about a quarter to halfway through this race before speeding on pit road, got trapped a lap down, never made his way back up to the front, never come to caution. I think Kyle McCoy is a driver you'd probably have to keep an eye on here tonight and circle on your driver list for sure because he's looking for some redemption here tonight at the Monster Mile.
Qualifying in the books, and it looks like as we give you the starting lineup, Dylan Hoffman will be the fast man. That time will stand in qualifying. He's on the pole here in the Monster Mile. 200, Joshua Robinson, pole sitter last week at Michigan, will make up row number 1. Row 2, Daytona winner and last week's winner, Will Bustler. Christopher Smith right there on the outside. Row number 3, Thomas Ogle, Zach Wright to the 46. Row 4, Kyle McCoy and Timmy McNally. And your top 10, Jason, will find Andrew Hess and Kyle Bowling, row 5.
Yeah, top 20, you got Scott Rickard, the current points leader right now. Took it over from Chris Smith after last week's event at Michigan. Derek Offerman in the number 20 to the outside in row 6, going over to row 7. Ellis Thomas in the number 80 on the inside, and Ross Tatum in the 21 up on the outside. Row number 8 goes to Christian Lashen. We just saw him in qualifying before. He'll be on the inside alongside Tom Wizen, the 51 up on the outside. Row number 9, Jason Gratton in the 42. Trey Jackson in the number 5, and rounding out your top 20 in row number 10, Joshua Altice, who had a solid run last week, hitting early, late in the going, and leapfrogging the majority of the field. And Aaron Hale in the number 4 up on the outside, rounding out the 20th spot.
Row 11, Brian Lynch and Nate Lynch, 24 and 25, ironically. Row 12, Josh Whitaker and Matthew McMeekin in the 41. Row 13, Paul Thomas in the 40, Ryan Lynch in the 31 machine. Row 14, Diego Valle, along with the 68. That's the Atlanta winner, by the way. Andrew Medlin will be 28th in the 12. Top 30, Ben Dunn will fire off 14th, and William Duff, ninth pair. He's in the 17, he'll start 30th.
Yeah, row number 16, you got Mark Fish all the way back to 35th, and then Mark Schrader in the number 10 machine. Row number 17, Brian Burchett, the 33. Greg Hammond there in the 66 machine. And rounding out the field, row number 18, all by his lonesome self, shotgun in the field, Zachary Smith on the inside of the 91. That will be your 35-car lineup here tonight in Dover.
41 points separate the top 10. Scott Rickard is the points leader, 3 points over Christopher Smith. 2 wins this year for Will Butler. He's third, 6 back. Then it's 11 back for the pole man, Dylan Huffman in fourth. Joshua Altis as well with 29 back. And then it's 34 and 35 back with a two-way tie between Kyle McCoy, Diego Valle, Thomas Ogle, as well as Zach Kreitz and James Waldo. 200 miles, 200 laps, 24 degrees of banking on the concrete here at the Dover Motor Speedway. 9 degrees on the front straightaway and on the backstretch. Green flag from the back view of the pole car of Hoffman. This is different. We're racing at Dover. Hoffman quickly pulling away from everybody, Jason, as they're already storming off of turn number 4. Put 1 lap on the board.
Yeah, Hoffman gets out to a great jump. You see the number 11 here, Thomas Ogle, trying to work to the bottom of Chris Smith, going back into 1 and 2. Everybody already really spread out. And there's the number 7, Kyle McCoy, right back behind them. And the number 7, Celsius Arctic Vibe Camaro, back to 3 and 4. He's trying to make up some more spots, already +1 as they come off turn 4, this time to complete lap number 2, as Hoffman's out front here by about 2.
Hoffman, Bustler, Robinson, Smith, and Ogle, top 5, and they're all single file. Everybody just kind of in a ride and drive mode right now, but that's probably the best thing to do here. Jason, 100% fuel capacity. How many laps do you think they could run on a set of tires and fuel here before they got to pit?
I'd have to say, I mean, this track's about a mile compared to about a mile and a half. Yeah, I'd say, like Charles said, about 60 to 80 laps, somewhere around there. You're going to see guys start to kind of pit. See, here's the thing about Dover is this track, when you're on fresh tires, and it's funny too because, and I'm not saying this because it's my home track, but out of all tracks I've run here with any kind of top 3 NASCAR divisional cars or touring cars, when it came to Dover, when you were on older tires compared to that fresh set of Goodyear Eagles, you could really tell. When you're on older tires, you just feel like you're going so much slower than everybody else who's on fresher tires. And then when you're on fresh tires, man, you feel like you're going 230 miles an hour around this place. If anything, this track is like a bigger version of Bristol, and it's so fun to run at this place. Definitely a driver's track here, so you really have to be careful. Manage those tires. Don't get back to the gas off these corners. Let that tire slide, because if you think about it, look at these corners. Coming off turn number 4 and off turn number 2, this track has a little bit of a hump. You're going to see when they come off turn number 4 here. There's that little hump back to the straightaway. Then when they come off turn number 2 here, as they dip down into 1, over that little hump that's there as well. You're going to see another one here as you see Christian Laschen coming off the corner. There's that little hump. Kyle Bowling right behind him, so you have to make sure you don't put the power down earlier, because you're going to slide that right front. You're going to kill it, and you're going to have no grip off these corners here late in the run.
Well, for the most part, everybody doing a phenomenal job here in the early going. There's Christian Laschen. Remember, he was dirt tracking it off of turn 4 during his qualifying lap, and now he is reeling in big time on the 88 of Timmy McNally. This is in the top 15 on the outside. The Bass Club, Bass Pro Shop, Tracker Boats entry. And Laschen will give that spot back. This allows now McNally as well as Boland to reel those drivers in. That's your top 15. Jason, 9 degrees on the straightaways, but you're also got the 2 pedestrian bridges above the racetrack. We've always said this in reality and even virtual. What kind of effects will that do to the, if you will, the handling of the cars, especially whenever we transition into the day?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I mean, with the bridges and stuff like that, I mean, there's a little bit of shade off these corners, but it's not really going to affect these cars. Obviously, they're still slipping and sliding no matter what, but as the sun seemingly starts to go down here, as we did start in the late afternoon, I mean, it is definitely going to set a little bit. There might be some cloud cover here and there, so it's going to cool down this track a lot quicker than probably the asphalt would. And I tell you what, I'm not really the biggest expert when it comes to the concrete tracks, because the reason why, you think about it, Wesley, we don't really go to many concrete tracks. There's not really a lot that we go to. Dover's one, and I can't really think of any other off the top of my head at the moment. But I mean, this track, when it used to rain here, and it still does, obviously, this track dries a lot quicker than it would an asphalt track. So obviously, it takes the sunlight a lot more. And I'd say probably with the sun going down just a little bit, if we do get some cloud cover. Oh, we got a crash backstraight, big crash!
Problems on the back straightaway. Boy, Miles of Munster not taking a lot of time. Whitaker caught up in it. So was the 80 machine and more. And here's a look on your replay of why we're under the yellow flag. For the first time, it looked like Ellis Thomas, Nate Lynch, and Josh Whitaker are the innocent 3. Let's see what happened here, Jason, as quickly we go under the yellow flag. 12 laps in of 200.
Yeah, I gotta take a look here at the restart right here. Not the restart, rather, but off the corner. You see the 41. Okay, so they start checking up. You see the number 80 of Ellis Thomas. He gets sideways. Everybody starts to check up off this corner. And then you see those 2 cars coming through, and they just try to check up, and then off the corner, it just doesn't work. Here's the 80, Ellis Thomas. He tries to go for a gap that's just not there. Comes right down. Yeah, comes right down in front of that number 54 machine of Andrew Hess off the corner. He collects the number 28 of Josh Whitaker, also collects Nate Lynch, and unfortunately, that's the part of Dover. It is a self-cleaning racetrack. Whatever goes up must come down, and that's why you see those cars travel to the inside safer barrier here off these corners at Dover.
We're in the early going. I don't see anybody in the top 20 per se coming to the pit lane. We're just getting started with the Stars and Stripes Racing League and the Munster Mile 200 more from Dover when we return on LSRTV.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection. If we fix your foundation and you mention Race On Texas, you will get a 1-year free subscription to the All Access Pass.
Back here, and by the way, check out raceontexas.com. A lot of big things happening. Stay tuned for the big one in 2024 season and all that going on. As we went from the rear view camera on the start, we were showing the front camera on the green, but it changed quickly. And Dylan Hoffman, another great restart after they storm out of the Geico restart zone. Back to the 24 degrees of bacon, and we're right back at it again as Rickard and Bustler going at it down the back stretch, chasing going to 3.
Yeah, Will Bustler really cut off Scott Rickard going into 1 and 2 there. Nearly thought there was going to be contact, but these two best in the business here in the Stars and Stripes Racing League. You remember last week, Will Bustler saw some little bit of undercutting going on between the back half of the field, said, hey, I'm going to try it. He did it. He jumped up to position. He got the race lead. Scott Rickard decided to pit when he hit that number on his gauge, and he came to pit road. Nearly caught him, just wasn't enough to get there, so you can only imagine that Scott Rickard would love to outbeat Will Bustler here tonight at Dover as you ride on board the 21. Now you're riding on board Joshua Altise as they come off turn number 2. Lots of close racing, man. This is the thing, Wesley, at Dover. Oh, we got a car in the wall. Back straightaway, 41. Matthew McMeekin in the wall in front of the field. Second yellow one of the night here into 3.
Trouble, turn number 3. Man, oh man, it has come unglued. Miles the Munster chomping them up again as we go under the yellow flag for the second time, and that happened right in front of us, Jason, from that camera angle here. Here's another look at it.
Yeah, we're taking a look here down into turn number 2. I saw we were riding from the back bumper or the back deck lead of Joshua Altise, and all of a sudden you're going to see the 41 here down this straightaway. Believe he just tries to come up here, and yeah, he does. It looked like he tried to come up right in front of that number 20 of Derek Offerman. They start sliding down the racetrack, but you can see, oh, what in the God's name happened to the 28 machine of Josh Whitaker right there? Charles, can we get a replay on what in the world just happened to Josh Whitaker, because he just shot to the outside wall here. Here's the replay of Whitaker. Down into turn number 3. Oh, he tries to avoid it. I was wondering why he shot to the outside. Heads up driving by Josh Whitaker, who was just involved in that first caution coming off turn number 2 a handful of laps ago.
And remember, do not have a fast repair. And obviously, if you're new to iRacing or to the Stars and Stripes Racing League, what I mean by a fast repair is they do not get a manual reset. They don't get a chance to get their car back to 100%, condition. Whatever you get is what you get. If you wreck your car, Jason, you're either out of the event, which is the worst scenario, or you got to go down into the pit lane and go on the damage clock and try to take time to fix it.
Yeah, and that's the thing here about Dover is this track is so narrow, so tight, so fast that you really have to be mindful, and a lot more wrecks happen here than you would probably think on the sim. I know most people used to think that this was just some old boring racetrack, but as the years have gone on, the wear that's on this racetrack, the racing that we have nowadays, there's a lot more frequent cautions than we're used to seeing. And even on iRacing, this track has been a very big troublesome spot for a lot of leagues, a lot of official racing stuff, just because of how tight it is. Everybody trying to go for every position on restarts, on green flag runs. So we'll just have to see how it goes on. But yeah, Wesley, you're absolutely correct. I mean, with everything that goes on here at this racetrack and in this league too, you're not allowed a fast repair. You have to be mindful. Treat this as if it were a real race car. Treat it as if it were a real race. This is not a video game. This is the sim. That's the perks of being in the simulator. You get it to the realest of real, the best of your ability. You have to drive it like it's a real car. You obviously have to be mindful and be careful and take care of this car like it's a baby.
Well, everybody is looking forward to the 66th running of the Great American Race. The Daytona 500 and the Clash in the Coliseum is also this weekend for the return of NASCAR. Well, iRacing on LSRTV will have our own rendition of the road to the 500. We'll get ready to come back to the Geico restart zone for the restart of this one. It'll be lap number 21 of 200. Hoffman, third time on the inside. Restart back underway on Robinson. Join us on LSRTV next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the Lone Star Racing, the Lone Star Racing X Gaming Road to the 500. Jason, Daytona, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, trucks, Xfinity, and the Next Gen Cup. It's going to be really fun. 3 nights of Daytona before the Great American Race.
Yeah, it should be really fun for sure. I'm also just really excited for Speed Weeks. And remember, hey, guess what? NASCAR is starting back up this week with the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. Third year rather that they have done this. I'm really excited. Yep. Saturday night, you have the heat races and everything like that. You have the NASCAR Mexico Series as well. And then Sunday, obviously, we have the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum. Very excited for NASCAR race season to return here this weekend in LA.
Road to the 500 will be live on LSRTV Friday night, February the 9th through Sunday, February the 11th. Going to be really fun. And of course, glad to be a part of it on your home for sim racing. Look at Jason Gratton starting to make a run. Inside is the 88 machine. McNally. This is in the top 10 if he can get there. By the way, 175 to go when they come to the line. Still a long way to go, Jason at Dover.
Yeah, great crossover there by Jason Gratton coming off turn number 4 there. You saw him, he laid off the throttle, let the 88 of Timmy McNally come off the corner, throttle up, and he was able to gas it back up a little bit later. But at the expense, he used a little bit of tire, but he was able to get past that number 88 machine. Great move by Jason Gratton. We're going to have to see here if he could probably overtake Ross Tatum with the same move he just put up Timmy McNally here.
Hoffman in the lead, Robinson second. Boy, oh boy, they got a little sideways in the back. They'll hold it together, working off the corner out of 4. By the way, Jason, to answer your question, the concrete racetrack of the world, including obviously the popular Dover Motor Speedway, includes also the Nashville Super Speedway, and there is a little bit of concrete in the turns at, of course, Martinsville. There you go.
I knew I was forgetting another short track that was under a mile. I knew it was Martinsville probably in the back of my head. Just wasn't too, couldn't really remember all that much. But yeah, no, definitely these concrete tracks are so interesting to watch, obviously, or at least tracks that have that concrete aspect. Oh, you see the 7, Kyle McCoy, last week's guy who probably had the biggest heartbreak out of the field. He's trying to get back to front, nearly made contact with Will Bussler. That's just the thing I love about these concrete tracks. It's so much different than you would an asphalt track. And you know what's funny too? Remember, Wesley, back before this track, really became what it was. It really, was an asphalt.
Jason, are you with us? Jason, are you with us?
I am here. I don't know what just happened. I don't know what just happened, but like I was saying, Dover used to be an asphalt track. Is a lot of people don't remember that. This track used to be an asphalt track.
That's right.
Back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and so forth, and when it was opened back up in 1969 and didn't turn concrete until many, many years later. And ever since it turned concrete, the racing, it's been great. Everybody's loved it. It's been multi-groove at some points. You can run the top in certain runs. You can run the bottom. It's been a great track. And I mean, it really is a driver's track. It's not a track where you can really adapt and figure out where the lanes are going. You have to drive it the way that you feel like you can drive it the way that your car is adapting to the racetrack. It's such a great racetrack. Always one of my favorites. I think I've won an ARCA race here at it, but like I've always, besides winning at the bigger racetracks when it comes to the official stuff, I've always wanted to win a race at Dover. I did win an ARCA race here a couple of years ago, but man, this track is definitely very hard to win at if you're a driver.
Oh, and Jason, I just thought about this as well. Bristol Motor Speedway's on concrete too.
Yeah. There you go. See, I knew I wasn't having I was having a big brain moment for a second. By that I mean I had a small, tiny little brain. And yeah, Bristol's definitely one of those racetracks too. I mean, it dries off really quickly. The racing definitely is affected by the sunlight. It's definitely affected by the cool, the hot weather, whatever it may be. So it just goes to show you that these concrete racetracks are definitely very, very unique when it comes to racing here, whether it be in real life or the sim as well.
By the way, as Jason just mentioned, quick statistic, 2024 for the real Dover Motor Speedway will be the 30th year that they have raced on the concrete. It is one of the oldest concrete racing services in NASCAR. So there you go. And there you see why iRacing mimics it to a complete laser point detail. Kauai coffee. Are they out of Hawaii? See that, Jason? Kauai coffee.
Kauai? I think you're losing it.
66, Greg Hannon. They're right there, Kauai coffee.
I don't know what you're talking about. I
66
think
car.
you're losing it.
Charles, quit making me be crazy. Show the 66.
Oh, we got a wreck, big wreck.
Yeah, he got caught up in it too. Mark Fish involved. So is Tom Wizza. Camel, is it in you? He's on the binders. Lynch wrecks on the bottom of the racetrack. And the caution is out for the third time. Right in front of the Wazoo coffee cart, as I was mentioning.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I was talking about Wesley going crazy here for a minute, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, this 13 machine coming off the corner, he just gets up into the wall. So does the 10. And then the 51, nowhere to go. Just unfortunately trying to back it down. Not enough momentum. You see the 31, Ryan Lynch gets involved. Look at the 4 of Aaron Hale, man. Charles, give us an onboard of Aaron Hale if you can, man, because that was really cool to see that number 4 machine get back down enough. Watch this, coming into turn number 1 here on this next lap around. He sees all this traffic going on right in front of him off turn number 4. You see them, they're already getting racy. Couple scuffs going on. And here we go, coming into 3 and 4. Look at how quickly he catches this group here right off turn number 4. You're going to watch the 13, the 10. They all hit the wall. And then right when he sees it, you can see him. He already starts backing down. He knows what's going on. He knows how the characteristics are here at Dover. Backs it down just enough. Makes it right through this incident here. Great job by the number 4 machine there to be able to miss that wreck coming on into turn number 1 and off 4.
That was one of the drivers of Iowa from the Hawkeye State, Aaron Hale. Camel, is it in you? He did exactly what he needed to do to avoid it. By the way, now we got everybody on pit road except, well, they all just came to pit lane. Yeah, first pit stop of the race here. So, all right. The Stars and Stripes Racing League and the the Munster Mile 200, presented by Budkick. Next Level Racing. Don't forget to check out the On the Throttle podcast on all major podcast platform and outlets and Verizon. Jason Rockefeller, I am Wesley Outland. We're at the top of the hour. 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central. Welcome to... No, we do not. Shut up, Joe.
I knew he was going to say that.
Man, I look at Brian Burton's car. I look at Brian Burton's car, man, and that reminds me of the, obviously, Jason the Harry Gant throwback, the man from Taylorsville, the awesome man from North Carolina.
Yeah, Harry Gant, definitely a big legend in the sport, obviously. A lot of people know him for driving that 33 Skull Bandit machine. Man, that thing won a lot of races, known as Mr. September when he went on that tear many, many years ago, winning everything in his path. I mean, Harry Gant, one of the greats here in NASCAR, and obviously every year it seems like somebody, somehow, some way, pays tribute to him with that Skull Bandit machine. Definitely one of the most iconic paint schemes probably in the history of NASCAR stock car racing.
Charles, to get rid of the suspense, can we show 23rd place, the 66, Greg Hammond, since we're under caution? And you can see it slowly. Jason, I'm not crazy. There you go.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see anything. I'm kidding.
Oh, my goodness.
It's like a Jeff Gordon steam mixed with coffee.
Call you coffee, call y'all coffee. Shut up.
I found it!
Are you-
Kawaii
Oh,
coffee,
my
here it is.
No, look,
Found
Jason, down at the bottom. Look at the bottom of the.
Oh, of course, yeah, Charles has had to do that for us.
For a lot of people
Aloha!
that don't know,
Enjoy 15% off your first order. Yo, Kawaii, I'm giving you free advertisement right now. If you can enjoy 15% off your first order right now if you join their email list. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
Oh, that's not nice. Don't say that.
Cowie coffee, cowabunga, right?
That's not nice.
Is it?
He's Michelangelo, Donatello, Leonardo, Raphael.
No, I'm Splinter. I'm Splinter. I'm the oldest one of the bunch here, so I'm Splinter. Let's go back to Green and Dover. By the way, you saw the little CRN at the bottom of the logo on the bottom left of the monitor. We are proud, obviously, to broadcast on the radio for the network that I have, 87.9 FM in the Johnson County, North Carolina area, as well as we are CRN.com worldwide, and we will be back to covering iRacing beginning in the Northwest series. All right. We might broadcast Road to the Daytona again, so I might do the Road to the 500. By the way, we're already closing up on 1/4 of the way through this race. Jason, that's one thing about Dover. It's a mile in length, man, and if they could just mind their P's and Q's, you could knock off laps very quickly here.
Oh yeah, you could knock off laps in very, very easy, quickly, in a timely fashion. I mean, it only takes about 23, 25 seconds to get around this place. I mean, it's really easy to get around here. I mean, you do the math, folks. I know I wasn't very good at math, but you can do the math for me since I got to call a race. You people at home can do the math. But man, you can click off laps very easy here at Dover Motor Speedway. I mean, I told you, Wes, just beforehand, if you're on Ford Fresh Goodyear Eagles, you feel like you are going so fast. You feel like you're almost going 200 miles an hour throughout this entire racetrack. You start to get on those tires that are super, super worn. You feel like you're going super slow. The fall off is really, really huge, and you just feel like you have no grip in these corners. It's very interesting to see. So if we do get that long green flag run, it's going to be interesting to see how much the tire fall off here is now with these Xfinity Series cars as they head back to the turn number 1.
Robinson now being the man that's up in front of the number 30 machine. Obviously, remember, pole driver, Michigan, last Thursday night. There's Valle there inside, winner at Atlanta. And things happen so fast here also, Jason, at Dover. We've seen it. Like, literally, we're calling racing, and then all hell breaks loose with wrecks. It happens so quick.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was here for Joey Logano's 2009 flip here when he went to turn number 3, got booted by Tony Stewart, and get sent through the grass in the infield, came back up in front of drivers like Martin Truex Jr., I believe Juan Pablo Montoya, Robbie Gordon, a few others, and he just piled. And then by the time I was done looking at my favorite driver's car at the time, which was Dale Jr., my cousin goes, "Hey, they're flipping in turn 3. I look up and it's already gone. It just goes to show you things here at Dover happen so fast. We talked about it earlier. I mentioned it about this track being a self-cleaning racetrack, obviously. And it's so tough here because when you have guys that slide up towards the outside wall, they get involved in wrecks. You could just see here with this 9 degrees of banking on these straightaways, both back and front straightaway, this track is self-cleaning. Everything that goes up must come down, and everything that happens here at Dover with these 23, 24, 25-second lap times that we have going on here as you watch the 42, Jason Grattan get into the wall, and everything here happens very quickly. As we have another caution on the racetrack. Oh, the 14 machine, Ben Dunn around. I saw him drop it on the scoring pylon. Might have been a few others involved here, and it happened all coming off turn 4.
Yellow flag out again. Chipotle, they have good food. I'm not trying to plug them.
Never had it. Oh, I know where this is going. Yep, there you go. Oh, not the Skull Bandit car.
Man, tough break there.
Yeah, well, you know something though, Wesley? That's all about just guys trying to stick their nose in somewhere where they really shouldn't, because you're coming off turn number 4. It's really hard to go 3 wide at Dover, especially when you got guys sliding up. I get it, you have the run, but not when a guy is coming down. You got them 2 wide off the corner. You see that number 14, hard impact with the left front fender right into the outside wall, advertising that NASCAR Cup Series banner. Remember, they return this weekend again at the LA Memorial Coliseum in LA. Boy, just a troublesome spot off the corner, and that's another place too. We talk about turn number 2, big wrecks happening. Turn number 4, we've seen some very, very hard hits in the past year. You think back to 2011, the NASCAR Xfinity Series at the time. Clint Boyer, Carl Edwards battling off the corner along with Joey Logano. Edwards loose into Logano, doesn't make contact with him, but the 20 slides in the outside wall, hits the concrete retaining wall off 4, comes down right into the path of the 33 Ream Chevy Impala. Clint Boyer sends him careening out of control, up on his side, nearly upside down. We've seen a lot of incidents there coming off turn 4 here at Dover.
Well, Robinson continues to lead the way. There's that number 30 Camaro. Still in the early going of this one here in the driver in the Chipotle, obviously. Buckeye State Micro Center. Ford. There you see Rickard. Still got a good run going for him of the Tire Pros entry number 05. Also High Rock Vodka on that car. Kyle McCoy, the Celsius Live Fit Iowa State Chevrolet. Good run going for him in third. That's right now the way they are. Jason, we got to set ourselves up for at least a green flag run, a long green flag run over the race. It seems like they get maybe between 10 and 20 laps until the yellow flag comes out. That reminds us to take a look at the race summary so far, as we're 1/4 of the way through the Monster Mile 200. It's presented by Race Summary for Virginia811.com. Reminding you to dig with care here tonight at Dover. So far, over 50 laps in, 4 cautions, 12 caution laps of the 53 that have been ran at green flag or caution total. And then there's been 2 lead changes of the race, and that was between Hoffman and Robinson. But I'll tell you what, though, Jason, maybe only 2 lead changes for the lead, but man, the excitement has been, I mean, we've literally been thrilled keeping up with the action throughout the pack.
Yeah, it's been really fun to watch these guys slice and dice all throughout the field. I mean, you look back, I mean, the pole sitter isn't even nowhere near the front right now at this time. I mean, Josh Robinson able to right now hold that top spot over Scott Rickard, who took that points lead, over Chris Smith just a week ago. I mean, everybody has pitted here back at lap 39, so, I mean, it's really interesting to see the dynamic up at the front of this field. We talked about it earlier, too. Kyle McCoy, a driver who was up at the front of the field last week in the first half of the race, until he got caught speeding down on pit road, never was able to overcome that speeding penalty. Finished the lap down all the way outside the top 20, I believe it was, and Will Bustler able to claim that top spot, take home, the second win of the season. 2 out of 3 races, he's 2 for 3 right now. Can he go 3 for 4? That would be interesting to see there in the Jordan brand machine. You think back to Kurt Busch at Kansas in 2022, was able to win his final NASCAR Cup Series career victory at the Kansas Motor Speedway. Be interesting to see if Will Bustler here can go for 3 for 4 at Dover here tonight.
We'll try this again. Robinson, Rickard, Bustler, McCoy, Hoffman, top 5. Got Smith, Ogle, Tatum, Creighton. Valle, right there. You go back to green. 45 laps to the halfway mark of the Munster Mile 200. And we go back to turn 2 where Robinson's got a hornet's nest behind him, a trio of cars looking for the lead as they go into 3.
Yeah, and Kyle McCoy has a great run right now on the bottom of the racetrack. Look at Scott Rickard trying to work the outside on Robinson off turn number 4. He's going to get there, doesn't lead that lap, but he's still door handle to door handle back into 1 and 2. He might be able to clear this number 30 coming off turn number 2, and he will down the back straight away as the 7 of Kyle McCoy. He'll work to the outside of Robinson now as they head back to 3 and 4 with Will Bustler on the hunt there in 4.
Rickard outside, McCoy to the bottom. And while that happens, Robinson falls back. He got drop kicked to 3rd. Bustler, Daytona and Michigan winner, the only man with 2 wins on the year. Going after Robinson. Behind him, here comes Tatum and Hoffman, and now Smith back in the battle as they work there almost side by side back to 1.
Yeah, Tatum trying to work that inside lane right now. Doesn't want to get all the way down to that apron because it's so tight coming off this corner. When you're on the inside of somebody here at Dover Motor Speedway, you feel like you're being pinned down almost into these corners, and you don't want to touch that apron. You get loose, you get tight, you can create a massive wreck coming off these corners, going into the corners. It doesn't matter anywhere on this racetrack, and Ross Tatum doing a great job being on that inside here of Chris Smith as they work around turn number 2. Near contact off the corner, heading down the back.
"60 laps in, and they are bumping and banging like it's the last lap here at Dover." Man, oh man, pick a battle, Jason, as it's going on like Donkey Kong. Smith under attack by Tatum. He's going after Bustler. And while that goes on, here comes Hoffman with a gaggle of traffic behind him.
Yeah, Ogle down on the bottom of Diego Valle, who won at Atlanta a couple weeks ago. Last week, we didn't really talk much about Diego Valle. And guess what? Right now, he has started towards the back of this field. He's already up plus 19, trying to go for plus 20 as he works on the back bumper. You view the rear deck lid of Dylan Hoffman back to 1 and 2, back to 3 and 4 now. Valle trying to make his way back up to the front in the 68 Supra as they hit turns 3 and 4 with everybody else battling back behind them as they hit the line this time.
To let you hear the fun of the Xfinity machines of the Stars and Stripes Racing League. Boy, listen to him burn. Hoffman,
hey,
going after Smith. You were saying, Jason, hey.
Guess what? Kyle McCoy back up out front. Kyle McCoy has taken the race lead away. I was just about to mention it too, Wesley. I mean, this is super important to him. I mean, look at McCoy. We talked about it last week, speeding on pit road. Right now, race lead, trying to hold Scott Rickard at bay with Will Bustler, the man trying to go for 3 for 4 right now over the last 2 weeks. These three have seemed like they are the most competitive. Rickard nearly makes contact with McCoy as they head back to turn number 3. McCoy outside, Rickard inside. Bustler trying to catch them here as they come up forward. Rickard holding the top spot. Bustler back to the bottom into 2.
There they go again. Bustler inside, drifts up in front of McCoy. Robinson back to the bottom. Now everybody's starting to get a good single file run here. Working 3 and 4. Rickard gone. 0.02 of a second the differential on Bustler. McCoy, Robinson, Tatum. There you see these guys battling right here behind them, going at it. Down into the corner again. McCoy inside, trying to get a run on Bustler's car. Now they drift up against the safer barrier down the back straightaway. And honestly, Jason, this is the first time tonight I think everybody's been able to get in a conga line, if you will.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Everybody right now is running single file here as you see them file out back down into 1 and 2. And this is where you're going to start to separate the men from the boys. Guys who are really starting to, be crucial with their tire wear, starting to fall back. Some guys who are really good, saved enough tire. They're going to start to make their way towards the front at least, or not really towards the front, but at least gain a few positions here. And you're going to see that coming into these corners, going off these corners, guys who are going to slide their right front, guys who are going to really get loose to the corner and slide their right rear. You're about to see it. Look at this 15, Dylan Offerman. He's looking strong right now. Passing Diego Valle, nearly puts him in the wall. Coming off turn number 2, you see a little bit of a gaggle of traffic back here from Ogle and Hoffman all the way back to the guys like Jason Gratton and Andrew Medlin there off turn number 4. Everybody single files back out though, but this is where you're going to start to see these guys really show their tire wear here as we're about a little bit more than 30 laps. Usually what you want to do with Andrew Medlin, you see Medlin go to the outside, and now Hess might be able to clear him off this corner. He does, but the 12 has great momentum off the corner, not enough to get back around him, do the crossover, and Andrew Hess will hold that top spot over Zach Reitz as they hit back into 1 and 2, and Christian Lashin starting to make his way up towards the top 15, or he's actually inside the top 15, trying to go for a top 10 spot as they head back to 3.
Almost green wide if Loston was brave enough, didn't get there. Christ inside, going after Medlin. Medlin gives him plenty of room, lets him have at it. Door to door down the back stretch. Past one pedestrian bridge, roaring by the 2nd and the 3. Looking now, Valle going at it with Diego, with Ogle. Yeah, look at that. Valle on the inside, Ogle outside. Very unique White Claw colors on that purple and green machine. Even got purple in the firewall of the tires, if you will.
Oh!
Whoa.
Contact.
Fighting for that spot was Smith, giving him a block. Christopher Smith down to the outside. Here comes Ogle, bottom. Alongside the driver door, Valle. We said this, Jason, action everywhere, man. Just take your pick. Poor Charles is going to get a migraine trying to figure out what to show us.
Yeah, he might have to actually have some, Laffy Taffy like he did just last week. Remember, he said, what'd you say, Charles? You ate them all? Oh, come on, dude. You can't do that. You needed to save them for tonight. Last week you ate about a pound. You probably ate a pound more here within the last week, buddy. No, you did not. There's no way you ate 3 pounds of food. That's crazy. This just in. Charles Wooten has consumed 3 pounds of Laffy Taffy. That is why he does not know where to focus the cameras on right now here at Dover Motor Speedway. But all jokes aside, I mean, you could just see, Wesley, coming off these corners, how really on edge these guys are off turn number 4, off turn number 2, especially off 4. You notice these guys slip and slide, trying to hang on for everything that they got to make sure they don't hit the wall. Here's the 46, Zach Kreitz. He's trying to not pinch that 15 in the wall, has to get out of the gas a little bit. Kreitz able to get by Hoffman. Now Lashin looks to the inside. Here you go, coming off turn number 4. Just got to be careful here. Make sure you don't hit that outside wall. Coming off 4 as they all save it back to 1.
Yeah, plenty of room given. Lashin on the outside. Hoffman will follow. Here comes Medlin on the bottom. And now the light goes on. The Bad Pro Shops Club tracker entry under attack. Look at the 88. McNally. Boy, oh boy. got to be a little give and take here, Jason, for sure. I mean, I know you want to get to the front. I know everything is about track position, but we're not even halfway home yet. You gotta get to the end. To first win the race, you must first finish, as we always say.
Yeah, we're almost 50 laps now on this set of Goodyear Eagles ever since they pitted on lap 39, so it's really easy to kind of slip up, make a mistake, pinch a guy up into the wall, the guy get loose or get tight in front of you that you're trying to run down, so you have to be mindful. Running back here like this for 14th is not worth it, 12th, whatever it may be. You have to be mindful, you have to be careful. Run that bottom at a precision fine line. Don't try to run this guy up into the outside wall, digging hard off turn number 4, off turn number 2. You want to be easy with it because the second you try to overstep your boundaries and really throttle back up earlier than what you should on these worn Goodyear Eagles, you're going to put yourself and your opponent also on the outside wall.
Working lap number 85 next time around of 200. One in at about 100 laps and 15 remaining. When they come to the line, there's Diego Valier inside, battling with Smith. Boy, oh boy, I thought Smith was going to get in the wall. What a save there, Jason. Wow.
Yeah, I thought Smith was going to get into the wall there for a second. It looked like everybody almost did there coming off turn number 4. You see we ride on board the 81 of Chris Smith down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Watch this. Watch his steering wheel here, Wesley, coming off turn number 4. Watch how loose he's going to get, how twitchy it gets off the corner. There he goes. A little bit twitchy out of the corner off 4 and off turn number 2. I can only imagine it's going to be the same way. You see that number 68, Valle, trying to run the bottom. He's going to run him tight here, coming off the corner and nearly make contact. And he might be able to clear him back into 3. He will not, and Valle will fight harder down on the inside of the racetrack back to 4.
While that goes on, Ogle has also reeled them in again. And so is Grattan in the 42. Hess also in the 54. Give them plenty of room as they work into 3 and 4 now. Back down to the line. Dover Motor Speedway is where we are. We're approaching halfway. The Munster Mile 200. And Miles of Munster has not been too deep to the field in the early first 100 laps. Hopefully things will settle down right now. Scott Rickard is the leader. Oh! Hess! Boy, Hess contact with Grattan almost got dirt track. Could have spun into the inside pit wall. No caution though, Jason. Wow.
What a hell of a save there coming off turn number 4. I mean, you saw that number 54 get pretty much about 40, 50 degrees off turn number 4, and he was able to save it. Only lost a couple spots there coming off the corner, and that Hess gasoline machine off turn number 4. Now he's under fire from Zach Price. It just goes to show you, Wesley, we're more than 50 laps now under the belt with these Goodyear Eagles on these race cars. The tire wear is starting to be there. You look back at the last lap for Scott Rickard, 25.096, his best lap, 23.759. So they're getting there, a little over a second and a half of tire wear. Things are starting to heat up here. Josh Robinson, by the way, fast lap of the race, a handful of laps to go. Back when they had fresh tires, 23.726. Which just goes to show you that 30 still has what it takes, even though he's restarted at the front there. Scott Rickard, Will Busser still continuing to try to fight for this lead here as we're approaching halfway pretty soon.
Valier up top, Ogle on the bottom, gives him plenty of room. Change that spot for 6th. Grattan now running back down and drivers again. As Hess, by the way, fell all the way back outside the top 10. He about got tangled a moment ago. All this going on now as we were approaching the cross flags of this event. Jason, your first take of the 100 laps so far here at Munster Mile Dover.
Yeah, it's been a little chaotic here in the first half of the race, or at least in the first half of the race, I'd say. I mean, ever since probably they went back green on lap 40-something, I mean, it's been pretty tame so far. You see the 54 abreast of the wall again off the corner. No harm, no foul. Here comes McNally to the inside into 1 and 2. But besides that, I mean, it's been pretty tame. It's just been about giving and taking, guys trying to take more or bite more than they can chew. And it's been really interesting to see who's going to get to the outside wall, who's going to be able to save it off these corners. We've seen Chris Smith make a ton of saves. We've seen this 54 make a ton of saves, but brush the wall. We're just going to have to see. I don't really think there's honestly, right now, Wesley, a favorite, because when you look at the front of this field, Scott Rickard, Will Bustler, they're about pretty even on lap times nearly. Rickard's only about 0.02 of a second faster on this long run, so we'll have to see here. I won't really say that he's probably a favorite to win until we get about 3/4 of the way into this race.
And honestly, there is still, oh boy, 44 bowling in the wall. Hendrick Cars, blue, 44, almost into the safer barrier. Hess gave plenty of room, so did Cripes, and now they're going to reel each other in again.
Tight.
Somehow they save it.
Very tight off turn number 2 there. You saw that 44 of Kyle Bowling trying to reel them in, and then all of a sudden they got really winded up in front of him there. He was able to make it around them. Great job by Bowling to get around them. Now he's going to have to deal with the same thing here with McNally and Smith off turn number 4, but it looks like McNally able to overtake Chris Smith there, going off turn number 2, back to 3. Bowling working to the outside here. Wesley, this is where you start to see a lot of guys make mistakes here on these older tires. We're just going to have to find out. 60 laps on these tires. I'd say green flag pit stops are in the window pretty soon here.
Very soon, my friend, on the horizon any time now. Rickard, Bustler, Robinson, McCoy, Tatum, top 5. Then it's Valier, Ogle, Grattan, Lawson, McNally, top 10. Cross flags, Hoffman, pole machine on pit road at lap 100. Next time by. In on pit road as well. So is Smith. Green flag pit stops, Jason, at exactly lap 100 with 100 laps to go.
Yeah, and this is the thing, Wesley, when it comes down to this racetrack, it is one of the trickiest, if not the trickiest, besides I'd say Darlington, pit road to get onto here. You think about it, you're going from what, this 24 degrees of banking, I believe it. Yeah, 24 degrees of banking down into 3 and 4, trying to slow your car down so much, get down to pit road speed, transition onto that apron that has a little bit of banking, then transition onto the flatter part down in the middle of a corner. If you think about it, this is almost like a smaller mini baby scale version of getting onto Darlington pit road, so you have to be really careful getting onto pit road here at Dover for sure.
Pit stops underway as we mentioned. There's Bowling. What a scare he had a moment ago with that Hendrick Card Chevrolet. That Camaro about got tangled into the outside safer barrier on the front stretch. Was able to get back in to hold on to that spot. He's outside the top 10 right now. As McNally's in front of him, the Bass Pro Shops Club Tracker Boats number 88 machine. There you see him. Timmy McNally in the 10th spot. Here comes Hoffman. Remember, though, the pole car Hoffman just pitted a moment ago. He's fighting to get back to the lead lap. He's a lap down.
Yeah, and this is the thing, too, Wesley. You do not want to be trapped a lap down here at Dover under this green flag cycle, and it's going to be really difficult. Remember last week at Michigan, we saw how much lap traffic affected the guys who were on newer tires and on older tires. So we're going to have to find out and see what happens here as we're over halfway in this race, with guys starting to pit around lap 100 to all the way to probably about lap 110, lap 115. We're going to see old tires versus new tires. You can already see Ellis Thomas last time around, 23.861, fastest lap of the race for him. Scott Rickard last time around, 25.318. So it just goes to show you 2 seconds off fall off. You have to be mindful to those around you here as you look at Josh Robinson starting to close this gap. He's added 1 more position, passing Will Bustler. Now he's trying to go after Rickard here as they head off turn number 2, and he's almost there.
The Stars and Stripes Racing League presents the Monster Mile 200, round number 4. This is iRacing on LSRTV. I'm Wesley Outland, Jason Rockefeller alongside Charles Wooten, producing, directing, keeping us in line along the way. Somehow trying to tame Miles the Munster to get us into the longest green flag run of the race we've had so far. Here comes the Commonwealth of Virginia Altus on pit road, the 94. And everyone else hitting their pit stalls here. Green flag pit stops just after a century grind here at Dover. Here comes now the number 4 on pit road. Hale's on pit road. And Jason, I'm honestly thinking, I don't want to say this is the money stop yet, obviously, but I'm thinking if they could go lap 100 to probably lap 155, 160, you think, then they could go for a 40-lap run to the checker flag, maybe?
Heck, I'd say if you could, we're just going to see and find out here who's going to stretch out, obviously, and find out. I mean,
could you stretch out and go to the finish?
I mean, not from here, obviously, but I mean, if these guys can, I'd say probably, think about it, lap 39, if they could get to about, I'd say 119, probably. You think about it, that's about 100, that's not 100, I don't know what I'm saying, that's about 80 laps. Oh, we got a caution! This changes everything.
So much for that. That's out the window. Whitaker again, man. Problems for Whitaker, the 28. Man, that's the William Whitaker, second or third time. Josh Whitaker, my apologies. Josh Whitaker, second time he's been involved in an accident. And Jason, adjacent to about the same spot of the backstretch again.
Yeah, this 28 of Josh Whitaker has not had the night probably that he wants to remember here. You see him coming off turn number 4. And the 80 just runs right up on him. Unfortunately, just runs in the back of him. Nothing Josh Whitaker could have done there. Look at the 94 machine there.
Well, this changes everything, as you said.
Oh, yeah. Here they
Now
come.
everybody's coming down pit road. Except the guys that pitted under green flag, and obviously they're going to go for the wave around, and they're going to get their lap back.
Oh, boy.
Which is the smart thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. There's no other choice. You have to. It's not like you can just come into the pits, stay on the same strategy. You want to make sure that you get back on the lead lap because it's so hard to get back on the lead lap here at Dover. Race off pit road. Scott Rickard able to beat out Josh Robinson and Will Bustler off into turn number 1 there. And man, this track, it is so crucial for you to earn spots coming off pit road. And so far, it looks like the leaders are going to stay the same here for this top 3.
Well, the first half of the Stars and Stripes 200 has been, or the Monster Mile 200 for the Stars and Stripes Racing League, pardon the pun, has been highly entertaining. Closing in on the second half of this race with 112 laps complete. Pit stops are done. We take a break. Back with more from Dover in a moment. iRacing on LSR TV.
Community Radio Network, WCRN 87.9 FM, Clayton, Garner, Raleigh, North Carolina, USA. We are CRN.
It's going to be a pretty cool show if you're in the Lone Star Stake, the Mod War Nationals. Boy, that's some big, big money for modified racing. Especially when you got Speed Weeks going on down in Florida right now. They're in East Bay. They go to Volusia next week, Jason, with the modifieds. And you're lucky if you're racing each night with dirt car for maybe $750 to $1,000 to win. Now, the big night, the main event night, they up the ante on pay. But for me, I think that is ridiculous that our sport is that cheap that they will not fork out better purse money for these guys at the modifieds.
Yeah, modifieds are so much fun to watch. As a guy growing up here in New Jersey, it's been so fun to watch the asphalt modifieds, the Wheeler Modified Tour, even your local modifieds run here, whether it be Wall Stadium, Thompson Speedway, Seekonk, I mean, Stafford Motor Speedway. There's so many cool events here that go on in the Northeast and modifieds. Definitely one of the best racing series throughout the country. Definitely love watching those guys because, man, they are all wheelmen out there for sure on the racetrack.
Yeah, I know you got a lot of sportsman mods that are up in your neck of the woods, and I'll be announcing a lot of those cars before they head down to Speed Weeks Sunday, Lakeview. All right, pace car is in. Lap number 115. 85 laps to go if you're being exact here at Dover. And now it is time to get your chess pieces in for checkmate on the field. It's not time to go for the finish, but you at least got to get prepared to prepare your car to make a run for the payout window, Jason.
Yeah, you definitely have to now. Right now is the time where you want to try to position yourself to be able to get where you want to be. Obviously, you see Kyle McCoy able to work that outside on Josh Robinson, who has not been the best on these restarts here tonight. Look at Kyle McCoy all over the back bumper now of this number 05 of Scott Rickard. Now he'll head down to the bottom of the racetrack. Battle for the lead here. Back to 3. As you see Jason Gratton work his way now in his second, almost off 4.
Inside, plenty of room. McCoy to the lead at the stripe. Gratton on the bottom. Inside. Rickard now gets it tail to the bottom for 3rd. Tatum will follow. And Butzler right there under attack by Robinson, the pole driver. Hoffman by the way. Got to climb. He's back on the lead lap, but he's still got to find a way to get back in the hunt of these things here as all this goes on battling to get out 2.
Yeah, McCoy now just really has to hold off Grant and heads up driving to Kyle McCoy too. Not just heads up driving, but great driving. You think about him getting around Scott Rickard, who has now dropped all the way back to 4th. Ross Tatum up to the 3rd spot. Ross, last time around, fastest lap of the race for him. But Kyle McCoy ran the fastest lap of the race while he was still driving around Scott Rickard. It just goes to show you how fast Kyle McCoy is here tonight. He ran a 23.495 so far here tonight. And guess what? He's the only one to crack into the .4 bracket. Kyle McCoy might very well be the favorite here ever since the restart. As Gratton tries to put some pressure on him back to 1.
Yeah, man, so since that restart, he has literally came out of nowhere and just showing the pressure. And it's working in his favor right now. They put another lap on the board. Still, by the way, a long way to go. in this race, like we mentioned. I mean, 80 laps to go. That's still there's still a lot of things that could happen here, Jason.
Yeah, definitely still a lot of things that could happen. I mean, you think about this race, you know, we have less than 80 laps to go now. We're at 79, coming to 78 to go. I mean, this track, there's so much that can happen late in the going. We've seen some late race restarts here, both in the real and virtual world. We've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, think about it, too. These guys might not be able to make it all the way. We're just going to have to find out and see. I mean, they pitted lap at 112, but, I mean, I personally think they're going to be able to go all the way. It's just your tires are going to be super, super worn out. Would not be surprised, though, if we see some drivers who are towards the middle of the back half of this field try that undercut and try to hope for some strategy to see if the caution comes out late in the going.
Tatum and Bustler for 4th and 5th. 75 laps to go. Laps flying by quickly with their clean and green. There goes that 44 up high. Remember, he got in the wall before the first half of the race concluded. Robinson will follow. Ogle there. Christ is there. And Jason, I'm seeing a trend here. We're not seeing any climb, if you will. These same drivers, it seems like for the last 75 laps or so, have been right there within the cat's whisker of one another the entire race.
Yeah, nobody's really been able to get out really far. I mean, the furthest I think we've probably seen the leader get out to is about 6,000 or 6,000. So I don't know what I'm saying. 0.6 of a second, probably, maybe 7, 8 at most. But nobody's really been able to get over that second bracket. I mean, even right now, Jason Gratton is only back by 1.5 right now over your leader, Kyle McCoy. He has ran him down pretty much as you start to see him close in that gap here as they head off turn number 2. I mean, it's really interesting to see. We haven't really seen that super, super long green flag run that we're used to seeing here at Dover. We got about a little over 60, 80 laps, worth of a green flag run. Now's the time where you might see it, you might not. We're just going to have to find out here as Gratton starting to look for the race lead. He's only back by about 1/10 here on Kyle McCoy as they head off too.
Everybody just kind of wait patiently for the time being. That's probably the smart thing to do for the moment. 44 up high. Robinson inside. Ogle will follow. They're still going after Bustler. And Kyle Bowling's continuing to hold his position. They come into 70 laps to go this time by. They come to the lock. Holding it together. Look at Crichton now. Vallejo at it. By the way, speaking of the driver, Kyle McCoy, just this quick statistic, by the way, Jason, if you don't mind. Kyle McCoy, the all-time points, the all-time career starter in the Stars and Stripes Racing League. Tonight is his 122nd start in the series of 8. And if that wasn't enough, he has the most wins of anybody, 27. If he wins tonight, he'll be his first win of the year, and he will be 28th career wins if Kyle McCoy gets it done in the 7th car.
Yeah, I mean, no surprise to me if he were to win here tonight. I mean, we talked about it last week. If he was going to be able to really, come back after that speeding penalty, he was in fact not able to. And now leading at Dover late in the race here, coming up to about the last quarter of this race. It's been so interesting to see him drive up through this field here. Starting about, about 6th, 7th position now. And now he's up by about 0.2 of a second. Ricker's gotten past that number 42 of Jason Gratton. Here comes Ross Tatum. He'll work to the bottom of Jason off turn number 4 and be able to complete that pass. Bustler, though, he's been kind of quiet. You know, we saw him win last week at Michigan. He was able to perform the undercut, was able to hold off Scott Rickard in the last few laps, beat him by about 0.6 of a second, I believe it was. He's just kind of been hanging in there. He's ran second, he's ran first, I believe. He's kind of just hanging in there the top 5, the whole rest of the night. And I mean, just what a drive for most of these guys up in the top 5, especially McCoy with the rebound from last week, and Jason Gratton especially up 13 spots. Same with Ross Tatum in the 21, 12 spots. These guys are really fast right now. And honestly, I think Ross Tatum might be a little bit faster than Colin McCoy right now. Last time around, almost 0.2 of a second faster than the 7 machines they work off 4.
There goes Gratton's machine onto the inside. Bustler. Remember, Bustler, winner last week at Michigan and won Daytona. He's the only driver with 2 wins on the year than anyone else. Bowling inside, going after Gratton, trying to go after Robinson. Robinson, plenty of room. Now he'll go from the top back to the bottom. Inside, and now they're single file. And Robinson and Ogle are kind of pinched in there, Jason. They can't go nowhere because Bowlin's holding them up.
Yeah, Kyle Bolt's holding them up a little bit right now. You see this 30-year Robinson who really restarted at the front the last couple times. He's fallen back. Now his car is starting to come to life for him in that 30 machine, working to the bottom of Bowling. He was just holding them up on that top side, not able to run the lines they want to. Here comes Bustler, though, back up towards the front of this field, going for a podium spot. He'll work to the bottom of Rickard, who's up in the marbles off turn number 4. They remain side by side back to turn number 1 here as they hit lap 139 back to 1.
Bustler inside, Rickard on the top. Jason, we were talking about the money stop of when somebody will come down to pit road unless we get a late race caution. But if we don't, who do you think would be brave enough in the position on the track to go for the undercut on the leaders to try to steal a win?
That's a really hard question to ask me right now, Wesley. I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, I'm looking right now at the SDK lifetime and scoring pylon, and I'm looking right now at drivers who are outside that top 5, top 10 region. I mean, it's such a hard choice. I mean, if you're Diego Valle, you already got to win this season, man. Why not? Why not try to come in the pits? I know that you're a 1.5 seconds back. But I mean, with the laps winding down and laps ticking away at 23 to 25 seconds, you got nothing to lose, man. Why not try to come into the pits? Wait for a caution. We saw it happen earlier. We might see it happen again. I think if there's anybody who's going to pit here probably and take this undercut, it could be very well Diego Valle laying the go.
Sorry for putting you on the spot there.
I like being put on the spot.
There we see Lawson.
Oh, there we go. Wreck.
Trouble. Gratton's car, 42. Oh, man. The Sonke's entry.
Oh.
Sonke's number 42, and Ben Altus and everyone else on the binders, and the yellow flag is out. Dang it, I spoke too soon, Jason. Yellow flag out again in a very lengthy green flag period.
Oh, man, this is going to change everything, Wesley. There is no more money stops under green flag conditions. This is going to be the money stop coming up. Let's take a look here what happened. 40 machine up in the outside wall. Paul Thomas, 4 wide. Something though, there's nothing Valle could have done. Because Charles, let's try to see if we can get another replay here coming off 4. And you see the 5 here, he'll go by. And then the 94, whoop, he just slows it down, no damage. But there's nothing they could have done. The 40 of Paul Thomas was lapped down. He was up and in the way off the corner. They were all just trying to avoid him. Everybody was trying to file back out to 1v2. Valle just unfortunately made contact with the 42. There's the 40. of Thomas. He's up on the outside lane in that red machine. Off turn number 4, they're going to get 4 wide here for just a slight moment right there. And then while they're trying to organize back out, 68 comes down, the 42 comes up. And unfortunately, that's the 42, but not a lot of damage to the number 42 machine. Something that could have been a lot worse for him. Going to be able to save some points here tonight if he could try to get his way back towards the middle of the pack.
My, oh my.
Money stop.
Money stop, no doubt. 50.
Whoa!
Whoa, did Robinson? Oh my goodness, guys. Wow.
Tatum beat out McCoy.
Sure as heck did. And then Robinson almost took out the oval machine, it looked like.
Yeah,
Racing
he
each
almost
other off
did.
pit road.
Man.
Charles, it might be good to show the pit exit camera if we got one. Holy cow.
And here's the thing too, Wesley. It's so big that Ross Tatum was able to beat out Kyle McCoy on this restart. I don't know if he took 2 tires or 4, but it had to have been 4 because he was right there in the hunt for the race lead. There was no reason for him to take 2 tires. And if he did, in fact, beat out the 7 of Kyle McCoy straight up on a 4-tire stop, that's a huge difference for him because Kyle McCoy is going to restart on the outside here. And then Ross Tatum is going to be able to fire out of the restart zone whatever way he wants to. McCoy's either going to have to be on the throttle the same time Tatum is, or he's going to have to get down at the time where he feels like it's best, or plan C, that he doesn't want to do, he's going to have to defend Will Bustler, Josh Robinson, and the rest of that field behind him. But Ross Tatum very well could have just pulled out a win here tonight coming off pit road. We're going to have to find out when we go back green.
That's exactly right. Boy, oh boy, and look who took advantage of this, Jason. Joshua Altus, S&B Motorsports, number 94 from the Commonwealth of Virginia. He is now the Pied Piper in the lead. Correction. Ross Tatum is in the lead. Those drivers up in front are going to take the wave around whenever we come back to the green. Tom Wizza as well as Joshua Altus, they are a lap down. So when they get one to go, Jason, obviously Altus and Tom Wizza will speed and, if you will, be at max speed to be at the rear of the field when the green flag drops. The good news of that is they at least get one of their lap. They get their lap back. They're on the lead lap, but they're at the tail. There you see it happening right now.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting restart. And Wesley, this very well could be the restart for the win here. I mean, you have the 21 of Ross Tatum, like I said, restarting on the inside. He's going to be able to fire out of the restart zone all the way to the start-finish line whatever time he wants to. Kyle McCoy, he's going to be up on this outside. Will he be able to put the power down to challenge Ross Tatum for this race lead off into turns 1 and 2 and down the back straightaway? Or will he be under fire from a driver like a Will Bustler, like a Josh Robinson, Tom Ogle, Scott Rickard, etc.? It's going to be really interesting. This is going to be possibly the restart in which will decide your fate and how this race will end here as they head back to 3 and 4, coming to the restart zone with just a handful of laps to go over 50.
It will be 53. No, I'm sorry, 53. 53 laps to go when they come back to green. Still a long way to go. I think this is the run to the finish. Unless we get a caution. We're back to it again. And this time, Ross Tatum, what a restart. Bustler has put himself in the catbird seat also, Jason, to not only go for a hat-trick win of the year, but 2 in a row after winning Michigan last week.
Yeah, McCoy did not get the restart he wanted to, but he's trying to cross over Bustler back to 3 and 4 now as they come off the corner, back to the line, about 52 laps to go as they head into the corner, back to 1 and 2, bowling outside of Ogle. Ogle looking to the inside of Scott Rickard, coming off turn number 2. Everybody files out back to 3 and 4. Tatum tried to defend on Will Bustler while everybody else battles back behind them.
Inside the corner, down that back straightaway, Ogle bowling. side by side. Here comes now Medlin. Could you go 3 wide again? You don't want to, not with a lap car in the way is the pick like we saw. Down into the corner into 350 laps to go. Coming up when they come to the line here at the Munster Mile off turn 4. Race summary 3/4 of the way through. Presented by Virginia811.com. 6 caution, 21 laps. 7 lead changes now. A run for the money. Jason goes in 3.
Yeah, Kyle McCoy, he's been able to get around Will Bustler, and now he's starting to close the gap. Just a handful of laps to go. He ran his fastest lap of the race. Last time around, Scott Rickard, fastest lap of the race, too. He ran about a 23, I think, 0.3 or a 0.4. He ran a 23.346. That's a blistering lap time, and all the top 5 are the only guys who have cracked into that top 3 bracket. Thought the top 4 was impressive. Well, now you've seen them crack into the 23.3s, so this is going to be interesting. Kyle McCoy, though, all over the back bumper of Ross Tatum as they head back to 1 and 2. He's only back by a little bit more than a 10th as they head off 2 this time.
You know, Jason, we looked at the race summary. Let's take a look at the Kaufman Creative weather conditions, because I want to say the track temp has probably really cooled down. It has about, yeah, look at that. Track temp was 108 when we dropped the green, Jason. It's 94 now. And it's a lot more cloudier than it was sunny when the race started.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this track has definitely cooled down. I'm not noticing a lot. I'm noticing a lot of guys not get nearly as loose off these corners like you've seen off turn number 2, off turn number 4. As I say that, Timmy McNally nearly hits that number 81 of Chris Smith coming off turn number 4, but definitely something that's, you know, notable for sure. Track temperature still there, still hot, still slick, but nearly not as much as it was at the beginning of this race and in practice for sure.
Is Miles the Munster going to chomp up some more souls on the virtual world? That's the $1 million question. As we are approaching 160 laps, 40 to go. Look at them trying to go 3 wide. Ooh, this is the battle for 13, 14, 15. Boy, clear a path. What a drive there by McNally. He was looking inside, Jason, looking outside, couldn't find anything. And now Hess is reeled him back in again, the 54, and we got a battle for the lead into 1.
Look at this, Ross Tatum trying to come back at Kyle McCoy, who took the race lead away from him off turn number 2. Look at this pack of, not trucks rather, but a pack of traffic off turn number 2, back to 3 and 4. Tatum pressuring McCoy off turn number 4. He's got a great car, and look at Josh Robinson working his way back up into the 4th spot, able to get around Scott Rickard on the outside of all places here at the Monster Mile. This time by, they're going to be coming down to 41 laps to go. It's going to be a barn burner possibly here as they work their way down to the checkered flag. Tatum all over the back bumper of McCoy now coming off 4. He'll get to the inside loose off the corner.
Very loose, almost dirt tracked it off of turn 4. Bustler down to the bottom, Robinson up high. Rickard now right there playing possum. Ogle back in the fight as well with Medlin. Any of these drivers, literally these 8 in a pack, Jason, have a shot to win this race.
Looks like some Talladega Daytona type stuff right here at this mild concrete oval. This is some interesting
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
Look at the cars travel up to the top of the banking. You got McCoy on the bottom. You got Tatum running about a quarter of a car width across from him. Then you got Bustler, Robinson, Rickard, everybody. Look at them go through 3 and 4. Now Tatum working back to the bottom of the racetrack. Nearly hits the apron, gets a little loose off 4, and McCoy still able to hold this lead. But guys, hold on just a second now. Even though we got 39 laps to go, still got to save a little bit of tire, because you think about it, this track eats up tires for sure.
Yep.
So we've seen a tire wear get to over 2 seconds Got to be careful here getting to the finish.
And that's what I'm thinking about, Jason, is the tire wear, using up that tire wear. Are these guys maybe from 5th on back thinking, let's let the leaders do that, racing hard with one another? They're going to fade away, slip, slide away, if you will, in the words of a great hit by Paul Simon, and then we're going to capitalize and take it away from them and be the winner.
Absolutely, definitely, just like you're seeing right now, back at the race lead, Ross Tatum able to get down to the bottom of Kyle McCoy, back to turn number 1 for sure, and here comes Will Bustler hanging out in the wings back behind them. Tatum gonna force the 7 wide almost off the corner. They're gonna travel back down to 3 and 4, still side by side for the race lead. Great racing here late in the stages at Dover Motor Speedway as a 21 nearly puts the 7 on the wall, back to the line this time.
Tatum, bottom, McCoy up top, Bustler, Robinson, Rickard, any of these guys beginning the fight. And by the way, Jason, we mentioned James of Talladega as they continue to battle stride for the lead off of turn 4. McCoy made Tatum wiggle just a little bit on the bottom, gives that spot away. Lap car off the pace on the inside, and while this goes on, everybody in the top 20 are starting to run down the top 10.
I tell you what, Wesley, great job by Kyle McCoy to put that pressure on the number 21 of Ross Tatum coming off turn number 4. He pinched him just enough to get him a little bit loose, make him have a mistake in that Camaro, and then off the corner was able to maintain that race lead, get back to the point that he was used to a handful of laps ago, almost 3/10 of a second. You see back behind the race leader, Scott Rickard trying to get around the 30 of Robinson. Tom Ogle as well back behind these guys in the number 6. I remember, I believe it was Tom Ogle last week. We talked to him, finished P3. He said, hey, I'm not very good at these 1.5-mile tracks, but I'm really excited to go to Dover. We've talked to Tom Ogle. He said, hey, I love this racetrack. I think it'll be something that for me. And look at him now running P number 6, trying to get back into the podium spot to talk to us up here in the booth again this week. Coming down, though, 40 laps to go. He's running out of time to get inside that top 5, top 3. The win possibly is Ross Tatum tries to go for another shot at Kyle McCoy back to 1.
Closing in on 30 to go. Hey, by the way, with 30 laps to go, also sim time. 1 hour, 55 minutes. We are 1 hour, 27 minutes in sim time of the race as well, Jason. Hopefully we don't have any delays to cause that be a hiccup and possibly cause the race to end early.
Yeah, we've had that happen, I think, about a couple times. As far as I'm concerned, ever since I joined LSRTV, we've had that happen a couple times. It has happened, and it is very well a possibility it could happen here at Dover. But if it were to happen, I'd say, Wesley, it probably would have to happen now. We'd have to have a slew of cautions, and we'd have to have just a ton of them, absolutely out the wazoo, left and right, every restart. But I think we're going to be okay right now. These guys here in the Stars and Stripes Racing League, they mean business. They race hard. They race clean. Unless it's the beginning of the race. We saw a couple cautions early on in this race. Besides that, only a handful. Let's take a look real quick. Oh, no! Around Kyle McCoy!
No caution, but McCoy did slip. Maybe we can get a replay of it. Something happened to the 7. Tatum to the lead. There's something going on with the 7. Wow, are you kidding me, Jason? Drive for win, career 28 going up in disaster, at least for right now.
And I don't know if I broke the mic threshold right there, but I had to, because the whole neighborhood probably heard me after that one. I could not believe what I just saw coming off turn number 4. That's 7. I saw a puff of smoke. Said, uh-oh, something's happening. Might be a lap car. No, it was our race leader, Kyle McCoy, dropping outside now. The top 10 all the way back to 12th, 13th, almost 14th, all the way back to J.C. Bratton, somebody who he was battling with early on. We're going to have to see maybe if Charles can get a replay for us. Another heartbreaker, though, for the driver of the 7 Celsius machine. 2 weeks in a row, Michigan. And now Dover here as you look coming off turn number 4. What happened to 7? Oh no.
Man, what heartbreak.
Man, but see, here's the thing though, and it's always a factor when you come to Dover, Wesley, is the thing is that when you have those drivers like that number 94 coming off turn number 4, they don't have to yield to you. They're on the outside lane. It's your job to run that bottom lane. So the 7 machine of McCoy just unfortunately came right up. Timed it wrong, timed the pass wrong. He thought he was going to be clear coming off turn number 4. He, in fact, was not. Came right up in front of the 94 machine, turned himself around, and unfortunately, he is the enemy of his own doing here tonight at Dover.
Here's Robinson up to 3rd. Hoffman, by the way, all the way back into the top 20, the pole machine. It might be a loss for him tonight to try to rally back to the front. And Jason, I say it again, Will Busler has put himself in the catbird seat to try to go for win number 3. And if you remember, I believe it was him and Tatum last week in Michigan.
Yeah, it was him and Tatum. They were battling a little bit, but at the end of it, remember Will Busler decided to do the undercut like Josh Altice did late in the race. He committed to it. Then the number 05 of Scott Rickard hit it at his number, tried to run him down, went from about 13, 16 seconds back, got to about 6/10 of a second, but Will Busler was able to claim the victory in the Irish Hills of Michigan last week, claimed 2 for 3 on the season. He's trying to go 3 for 4 here tonight. He very well could. We've seen some great finishes here at Dover in the late 2010s. We're about to see a good one here in 2024 on iRacing, possibly Ross Tatum. Can he defend Will Busler, Josh Robinson, Scott Rickard to get his first win of the season? The 21's coming off turn number 4. 20 laps to go here at Dover Motor Speedway.
Shootout time, no doubt. Tatum wants to get obviously a win as well. Ross Tatum in that number 21 machine. Of course, the driver in the body armor Coca-Cola. Ford from Virginia as well. Massive cloud cover over the racetrack. Ross Tatum 10th on the all-time list tonight. Start numbers, race 63. Start number 61 of his career. And he has 5 career wins on the series for the Stars and Stripes Racing League. If he wins tonight, Jason, he will be 6th. He is right now in a 5-way tie between Butt, Holland, Ogle, Tatum, and Wade, all with 5 all-time wins. He will then join the list of winners with 6 wins, joining Cameron Sargent and Ken Campbell on the all-time list if Tatum can get it done in 21.
He just has to get it done right here. I mean, this is the thing, though. He's got to defend 2 drivers who've been super hungry all night long. You look at Will Busler going 3 for 4 here this season, possibly. You have Josh Robinson. He's been right there in the mix. Hasn't been the best on the restarts, but on the long run, we've seen this number 30 Camaro kind of come alive late in the going on these late race, or not late race restarts, but rather the long runs. Can he do it? Can Scott Rickard make his way back up towards the front? He's a little bit faster than most of the field up at this front, but Will Busler, though, Wesley, as a driver, I circle out of this top 5. He's been the fastest out of these guys. He's putting the pressure on Ross Tatum. We're going to have to find out here. Coming to 15 laps to go this time by. He's only back by 0.2 here at the Monster Mile.
Time running out. And massive cloud cover, by the way, Jason, over this racetrack, man. It looks like it's nightfall settling in here. This is the most they've fought all day.
Yeah, and you know something, Wesley, as a driver, I've never really experienced like, hey, I notice I can grip up the track a little bit more. In my opinion, just for me, it was always about visibility, and it's definitely a difference because you're so used to, you know, the sunlight all race long, and then all of a sudden you get that cloud cover, and it kind of really hurts your perception of the racetrack. And when I see the 7, oh no, the 7 machine right there, Kyle McCoy up into the wall, gets out of the way. I guess that might be a factor of that damage to the right front that he got earlier on. But with that being said, he's out of the way of the race leaders, and the sun's starting to pop back out. But Wesley, for me, it was always about the perception of how I view the racetrack. I don't view the corner the same as I do in the sunlight as I do under cloud cover, so that's definitely a factor for these drivers. But definitely the track cools down just a little bit here. But look at this, Ross Tatum starting to pull away just a tiny bit here from Will Bustler and Josh Robinson as they're going back to 2.
Robinson in that 3rd spot. By the way, Joshua Robinson, 13th on the all-time list. Raced 63 tonight. His 62nd career start. By the way, he has 4 wins. Looking for win 5. And if he wins, he could join that list of those 5 drivers that I mentioned with, of course, Ross Tatum. Closing in on 10 to go this time by. When they storm off from turn 4, they thunder down the straightaway. And that virtual kaleidoscope of colors funneled back into turn 1, up the 21 degrees of banking on the concrete. And we close in on the shootout here.
Look at this number 30 right here. Josh Robinson almost looked for a second underneath Will Bustler. Back to turn number 3. Wasn't able to complete that pass. Now Bustler, though, trying to reel back in. Ross Tatum faster than him by 0.2 the last time around. That time around, faster than him by about 1/100 of a second. But off turn number 2, Robinson nearly makes contact with the number 1 Jordan Brand machine off turn number 2 as they head back to 3 and 4. Will Bustler definitely not going to appreciate the racing between him and Josh Robinson. Back off turn number 4 here. But look at this as well, Wesley. Ross Tatum starting to hit just a tiny bit of lap traffic. 8 laps to go for the Monster Mile. Does Bustler have anything left for Tatum here at the front?
Yeah, it looked like Ross Tatum just cleared by Thomas just a moment ago easily. Then, of course, Bustler and Robertson overtook him. And Tatum taking advantage of this, pulling away. And in addition to that, if Bustler and Robinson continue to battle side by side, Jason, that's going to give the advantage for Tatum to pull away and get faster.
Yeah, I mean, that's just something that obviously we've seen here. You look at a couple laps ago, Bustler was under fire from Robinson. He gained 3/10 just by doing that. Oh, Robinson almost up and into the wall, trying to make an outside pass on Bustler going through turn number 3, but they're going to continue to battle for second. This is just helping Ross Tatum more and more the more they battle side by side here off turn number 2.
Down into turn 3. It'll be an open hand from your flagman, Barney. This time by your virtual friendly flagman for iRacing. 5 to go at Dover. And Miles the Monster being pained by Ross Tatum, the Virginian. As this race is coming to the end of the less than 5 miles remaining. The different monsters also on the Ross Tatum machine. Normally 3/4 of a second. Time is running out. Tatum is pulling away, separating lap traffic from second and third, and he's coming off to the white flag out of 4 this time by Jacob.
Yeah, 1 lap to go here for Ross Tatum with a night that was really filled with probably a lot of anxiousness for him. think about all the drivers he had to really battle with all night, like Bustler, Robinson, McCoy, Rickard. This 21 machine has been so stout here tonight. He's coming off turn number 4, trying to collect his first win of the season here at Dover.
Ross Tatum is about to leave the 5-time Winners Club and join now sixth win of his career. First win of the year, continuing first-time winners in Season 8 of the Stars and Stripes Racing League. And tonight, it is Ross Tatum getting it done in the Munster Mile 200 at Dover.
Great run by Ross Tatum here tonight. Look at the respectfulness from Will Bustler, giving that little love tap there from that Super to that Camaro. This 21 machine just drove such a great race, Wesley. You could just see how clean that 21 is all night long, battling super hard with everybody throughout the field, working from mid-pack to the front of this pack, and now he's going to be the third different winner we've seen this season besides Will Bustler, who's won Daytona, won Michigan, Diego Valle, second winner of the year, he won in Atlanta. Now Ross Tatum, third different winner of the year here in the 4th race of the season. Great run from this 21 team.
Third different winner of 4 events. Really competitive, and again, career win number 6 for Ross Tatum. He'll join also, again, the drivers of now 6 wins in his career in total, which includes now Ken Campbell and Cameron Sarton. Here's the results in the Munster Mile 200 at Dover. Pretty open book, shut case to me. Ross Tatum getting the win over Will Bustler, who's already got a couple of wins this year. Joshua Robinson will have to settle for 3rd. Rickard, another solid top 5 of the Tire Pros machine. Thomas Ogle would have run for him in 5th. Andrew Medlin had some problems earlier. He battled back to finish 6th. Atlanta winner Diego Valle will finish in 7th. Bowling, McNally, Lotion. Remember Christian Lotion dirt tracking it many times, Jason? What a comeback for him to finish in 10th.
Yeah, great run for sure for him. There's Zach Kreitz in the 46 machine. He was kind of towards the mid-pack all night long. He finishes P11. You have Aaron Hale, William Duff, Jason Gratton finishes mid-pack, unfortunately for him, after a really good run all night long. Trey Jackson, you have Mark Schrader. Chris Smith, kind of a mediocre night kind of for that number 81 machine after starting towards the front of this field. Not something he wanted to. You have Dylan Hoffman, Greg Hammond, Josh Whitaker rounds out the top 20.
Looks like Brian Lynch 21st, Ellis Thomas 22nd, Kyle McCoy, what might have been for the driver there in the 7 machine. Now 3 laps down, Paul Thomas, Tom Wizza, Hess, Altus, Smith, Dunn, Lynch, your top 30. Rest of the rundown, Burchett, Fish, Lynch, Offerman, and Mick Meakin, first man out of the race after that multi-car skirmish on the back straightaway. Final look at the race summary tonight at Dover, presented by Virginia811.com, reminding you to dig with care at the end of 200 laps. 6 cautions in total. Much calmer second half than the first half was, no doubt. 22 caution laps in total. 9 lead changes when it's all said and done. Coming up, Ross Tatum, Will Bustler, Josh Robinson, they're all on deck. And by the way, our next race on the series will be coming up again next Thursday night. And yes, we're going road course racing in the Grand Prix of Sonoma. We wrap it up at Dover when we return. Welcome back to the Monster Mile 200 from Dover. Coverage of iRacing on LSRTV. By the way, don't forget, next broadcast will be next Tuesday night with Jason and I. The next race in the, I believe it will be the Sim Racer Hub Winter Challenge Series, obviously. All right, let's go to Victory Lane. Ross Tatum, the winner, buddy. Congratulations. Third different winner in 4 races. By the way, career win number 6 for you in the Stars and Stripes Racing League. And man, I know you wanted to get redemption on Dover after Michigan last week. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Feels really good. Just great lead race by everybody. Really thought Will was going to get me again there and have 3 on the season. So it feels good to pull that one out. Just a lot of good racing tonight.
Yeah, and Ross, congratulations, man, on win number 1 of this season. You head into Sonoma next week, man. Left and right turns. How do you feel like you're going to be next weekend in wine country?
I'll be like top 15 maybe. I don't know. I'm not very good at road courses. Luckily I got the win, so now I don't really have to practice too much for next week. I don't have to worry about points and stuff. So, but should be a lot of fun. I think your favorites next week are going to be Kyle McCoy and Scott Ricard. Those are going to be the guys that are going to be hard to beat. So it's good that we're having some road courses this season. We haven't had them in the last couple seasons, so it should be a lot of fun.
And obviously, with all of this rolling on here, man, what a great job tonight. The battle with you and Bustler and lap traffic, and it looked like everything just kind of, if you will, the parting of the Red Seas worked in your favor there at the end. Segue that into thanking your sponsors as well.
Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, definitely. I feel bad for Kyle McCoy. He had he might have been the one to beat right there. He had clean air. He held me off a couple times. So first and foremost, feel bad for Kyle. He'll win a few here before the season's over, though, for sure. Then I got to thank Will Bustler. He paints all the paint schemes. He makes the best paint schemes on iRacing, so everybody go hit him up at Bustler Racing Designs on Trading Paints. I got to thank Butt Kicker for sponsoring the league, On the Throttle podcast, Verizon, you guys at LSRTV. You guys are the bomb. I love going back and watching all the old races with you guys, especially the old S&B series races. Those are always fun to go back and watch. And just got to thank everyone watching and my teammates, Will, Josh, and Rob. Rob wasn't here tonight, but Josh had some bad luck. But all in all, it was a great night. Feels good to win, and I'm looking forward to next week.
And how about this? In addition to that, with a win, you join drivers like Diego Valle and, of course, Will Bustler to go to the playoffs for a championship.
Hey, that sounds good for me. I can't wait.
All right, there's the winner tonight here at the Monster Mile 200 at Dover. And that is, of course, the driver out of Virginia in the car number 21, Ross Tatum. Oh, before I let you go, Ross, BSD on the car. What's the difference between the body armor Coca-Cola sponsor that you normally have? Tell us about that car and the sponsor.
BRD is Bustler Racing Design. Bustler Racing Designs. That's Will's little company he's doing with Trading Paints. He's getting more and more people. So I'll have Coke and Sprite back on the car soon. I was just he's actually painting me up some more newer schemes. So we'll unveil them soon.
There you go. Well, all right. We wanted to find out what the deal was, and the Chevrolet Ross Tatum gets the win. Let's go to the man that's had a great year this year. Okay, I want to say at least 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s, 2 wins, another runner-up tonight. Will Bustler in the number 1, of course, driving the driver out of Virginia as well in the Michael Jordan Bustler Race Engines Toyota. Will, second, nothing wrong with silver, and obviously, I guess you got to have some props to Ross, because you guys work together, do rap jobs together, and he gets a win. You're taking the race tonight at Dover.
Yeah, congrats to Ross. He raced a hell of a race. I thought I had something there for him, probably with about 15, 20 to go. I think I burnt it up just a little bit too much, and then at that point, I figured that it's probably best to just keep second, fight off Josh at the end there, and just 1-2. He's helped me out a lot. He knows I've been frustrated the last couple of seasons, so it's awesome to put a P2 up there and continue a strong season.
Yeah, and Will, congratulations, man, on finishing P2. And with the strong season you've had so far, I'm going to ask you kind of the same question I asked Ross just a handful of moments ago. Now, with the strong season that you've had so far, how do you feel like you can bring that momentum into a track that's not your stereotypical turn left, turn left, turn left track going into next week at Sonoma?
Well, I'm going to be honest, guys. Next week is going to be a nightmare for me. So I don't anticipate competing. So I'm just going to show my face, put the car on the broadcast, and that's that. But it probably won't be pretty for me.
Why do you feel, Will, that people do not like the road courses? And, do you think that's something the powers that be on the Stars and Stripes League might need to reconsider, because you guys aren't really fans of it that much? And obviously segue that to your sponsors.
Yeah, I get why they do it. Just to change it up a little bit. I know some people are really into it. I don't know if it's the left and the right and the throttle, the brake input. I haven't really figured it out. I've tried. I'll probably put some practice in for a couple days, and like Ross said, maybe bring out a top 15. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But we'll see what happens. Ross was right about Scott and Kyle being pretty heavy favorites next week. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But as far as sponsors, always gotta thank my wife Heather. She puts up with all my iRacing drama from week to week. Shout out to a couple of the watchers, my dad, Tommy. Thanks guys for watching. We appreciate it. Shout out to the sponsors for the league, Verizon, On the Throttle Podcast, Butt Kicker, Next Level Racing, LSRTV. You guys are awesome. We appreciate everything you guys do. Teammates, Ross, Josh Altice, Rob. Shout out to Jonathan Woods. He's not here racing this season. Shout out to him. And thanks everybody for watching.
There you go. Will Butzler, again, 2 wins this year. And a solid finish again here tonight at Dover, the Munster Mile, 200. And he, as well as it seems like many on the podium, not looking forward to Sonoma and Wine Country virtually next Thursday night. We'll see how it all shakes out. Josh Robinson joins us, driver of the number 30 machine, obviously. A good solid run for him in the Micro Center Chipotle entry from the Buckeye State of Ohio. Your Ford will finish third, or Chevrolet will finish in third. They got to update the roster with the correct manufacturer, by the way. You will take the third spot, and obviously you're taking this race. Another solid effort, another consistent run, a good point stay, I guess, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how tonight went. It was a lot of fun, a lot of tight, good give and take up front. Had some misfortune in the couple previous races, so P3 is nothing to be upset about.
And Josh, congratulations, man, on finishing the top 3. This is obviously your first top 5 of this season. With that being said, man, what do you guys need to do, or at least you as a driver need to do to continue this momentum that you had here tonight at Dover after being, the driver up at the front on the restarts? You'd fall back, then all of a sudden your car would come alive on these restarts. What more do you need to continue this march up towards the front here in these standings and continue this momentum going forward?
Just keep on doing the same thing. Sometimes you don't get the cautions to time out right for you. Sometimes there's a wreck in front of you. It's just how it goes some days. I'm definitely more of a long pace type of driver, so that's these guys are a little bit more aggressive than I am on the start, and that pays off extremely well as it did for them tonight. But I'm definitely more of a I'd like to have a little bit of tire at the end of the run there.
Well, man, another a good strong effort for you, no doubt about it. Before we let you go, thank your sponsors. And I got to ask you this question because, 3 out of 3 or 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Are you also kind of antsy about the road course at Sonoma next week?
It's not the most exciting race for me to go into, but I'm a little less worried about it than the other two guys. I ran in the 24 a couple weeks ago, so I've got my road racing shoes ready to go.
Well, I'll tell you what, you haven't won a race in the Stars and Stripes League since August of 2023, man. Obviously, that was a Nashville win. Definitely, I know you're ready to get off the schneid and get back to victory lane, aren't you?
100%.
There you go.
I thought I was getting it tonight, and then Ross and Will kept running good. I thought when I saw them running side by side, I was like, yeah, you guys keep doing that. You're doing perfect. You guys are doing everything I want you to do. And then they got a little bit single file when we got into traffic there, and it's like, you guys can go right back to running side by side if you want.
There you go. There you go. Looking for his 5th win. Got to settle for another week. 62nd career start adds up with another 28th top 5 and a 43rd top 10 for the driver of the number 30. And of course, that is Joshua Robinson. Next week, it is off to wine country, as my colleague Jason called it. Wine country, the Grand Prix of Sonoma. 40 laps, 80 miles next Thursday night. Then, of course, it's on to Bristol, baby. Another concrete surface coming up in mid-February, the day after Happy Love Day. And then, of course, Kansas as well. And Richmond to wrap up the month of February. Jason, always fun working with your brother. Your final take of the night at Dover.
Yeah, man, I love this racetrack. Near and dear to my heart. First NASCAR race I ever attended back in 2008 in the fall. So always cool to watch. Great racing for sure. Congratulations to Ross on holding off the field, man. And I'm really looking forward to Wine Country next week.
And that's going to wrap up our coverage for the week. As always, keep on praying for America. Be good to one another. For Rocket Racing Media, Jeff Stabnow, Charles Wooten, with Jason Rockefeller, I'm Wesley Outland. Congratulations to Ross Tatum, taming Miles the Munster in the Dover Munster Mile 200 for the Stars and Stripes Racing League. Next week, it's on to Sonoma. Good night.